right, I'm gonna show you how to add a color to your circular knitting project. This is one of my favorite things to do because I love to knit stranded color work. I'm gonna be showing you how to add a color to this headband, which is a pattern that I have for sale on my website. It's a super easy first project. If you've never done any stranded knitting, this is a great project for you to start with. So as you can see, you start with just one color as you knit a 2x2 ribbing. So this is nice because you don't have to cast on and jump immediately into two colors. And I'm not going to get into this video in how to knit with two colors because we do have a video on that. But what I'm going to show you is how to add in that new color, whether you're doing stranded color work or stripes. This is a great skill to have. So I'm working along on the black section here, and I can see that I'm coming up to the end of my round, and this is the last round of knit 2 purl 2 ribbing that I'm working on here. So I've got 2 stitches left. I can see from the bumps that they are purls. So I'm going to purl these last 2, move my yarn and my marker, and now I'm ready to add my new color, which is this lovely orangey red. So this is kind of the same skill as when you just switch balls of yarn in your knitting. This is my last stitch that I knit with black, except I'm not going to cut it off because I'm going to need it later. If you're doing stripes or some project where you're finished with black, when you cut it, leave a 4 to 6 inch tail so you can weave that end in later. But for stranded Fair Isle, I'm going to be using the black throughout the whole headband. So to start a new color, just like before, you're going to stick the needle in, and that's going to hold it in place. Then you're going to grab your new color, you're going to anchor that tail, again 4 to 6 inches, anchor it with your fingers, and you're going to drape it over the right hand needle so that you can pull up a loop, and it's really obvious with a new color of yarn because it's red and you can see that you got it. You have a loop coming up through a loop. And then because this is a stranded pattern, I'm going to be carrying one color in my left hand and one color in my right hand. And continuing on with pattern, which is a chart that comes in the PDF. So right now, this is all anchored, right? My red yarn is anchored because I've got a couple stitches. My black yarn is anchored because I've been knitting with it for an inch or so. But that first stitch is loose. And that's because it's not anchored to anything but its little tail here. So when you knit all the way around and come back to it, when you stick your needle in, it may feel really loose and it might stretch out, but don't panic. Just give the tail a tug and it'll tighten right back up. Now you don't want to over tighten it because it would also feel wrong if this stitch, the first stitch of your new color, was the tightest, smallest stitch. So you want to tug on it just enough to keep it in line and keep it a nice stretchy, pliable fabric. And that is how you add a new color in circular knitting.